The original song I have delegated this semester to analyse the embodied songwriting elements within is Mind Games. Mind Games is in 4/4 time in the key of E minor and arranged in a particularly common form in regards to pop or mainstream songs. Its formative structure is verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, then it ends on an extended variant of the chorus. The lyrical content explains a one-sided resolution to the breakup of a relationship involving a perpetrator and a victim. The victim has suffered from the perpetrator's harmful behaviour whilst in the relationship, and then after calling the relationship off, she endures his antagonistic mind games he plays, whilst he attempts to get revenge for her breaking up with him. Opposed to his erratic mentality, the woman is now empowered and rational, refusing to give into his deceiving and malicious ways. This is what the lyrical drive for the chorus encompasses, that no matter what he does, she does not care because she is moving on and she will not fall back into the trap of his vengeful mind games she has come to know too well. Some of the phrases throughout verse 1 and 2 could be defined as cryptic or ambiguous. For example, the line in verse 1, "Thoughts drawn, your eyes are inked," is meant to have both the meaning of having demonic or black eyes, whilst also meaning that the singer can see his maleficent thoughts as if they were written, inked, or tattooed into his eyes. Or in verse 2, the phrase, "You're an expert honey, fast on your cheats." Fast on your cheats has a double meaning of the character being fast and quick-witted with his schemes and conspiracies, whilst also having the meaning of being fast on his feet, as in the figure of speech. When composing the accompaniment for Mind Games, I tried to find a certain key and use chord progressions that would animate the lyrical content and the vague melodic idea anticipated. I envisioned a deep, dark, almost gothic harmonic sound to correlate with the shadiness of the character's mind that Mind Games is based upon, and experimented with different minor keys to eventually settle on E minor. I arranged the verses to have an emphasized and resonant bass line within the piano accompaniment. Using a descending octave motion from the chord root notes, that being E minor to D major for half a bar each, then to C major for a whole bar, whilst over the top I played alternating treble notes between two B notes pressed together, an octave apart, and a singular E minor note. The pre-chorus changes both rhythmically and harmonically. The chord progression in the pre-chorus is broken chord patterns on E minor, to D major for half a bar each and C major for 1 bar, then it is repeated. The chorus is block chords for 2 bars each, E minor to B major to E minor with a G bass to A minor, then repeated with extraneous E minor and B major chord. Ending the first and last chorus on a second inversion of a broken pattern on an E minor chord. The second chorus ends on the B major chord leading straight into the instrumental, then the bridge. That combined is 10 bars in length and delivers the song with a contrasting rhythmic feel to that of the verse or chorus. The bridge is just another rhythmic play on the chord progression of the pre-chorus E minor to D major to C major. To resolve the rhythmic and melodic change of the bridge, the chorus is brought back, however this time extended with a secondary melody introduced while the usual chorus melody fades out and then a few bars later returns again to sing the last phrase of the chorus that concludes the song. It was essential the song ended on the last phrase of the chorus, which is "Your Mind Games," so the main lyrical idea and drive of the song was brought back in to create a greater effect as the song was brought to an end. The verses are structured into 4 separately phrased lines, each over the top of one cycle of the chord progression. The first 2 lines of the verses are sung the same, whilst the third line slightly changes melodically. The fourth line increases in pitch, is sung with more emphasis, and is longer in length, giving the song the feeling of being unstable. None of the rhymes in the verses are perfect rhymes, which also adds to the unstable feeling. The pre-chorus is melodically and rhythmically different to the verses. To lead into the chorus more effectively, the rhymes are not perfect adding further to the unstable nature of the song. The last line in the second pre-chorus is sung differently to keep interest throughout the song. It increases in pitch and is sung with more emphasis, building up a larger climax to be resolved into the second chorus. The chorus is only 3 lines in length. The first 2 phrases are 2 bars in length, whilst the third is shorter both melodically and harmonically. The first and second phrase are not of a perfect rhyme scheme, however the second phrase does rhyme with the third and shorter phrase. Both of these aspects add further instability to correlate with the nature of the song. The bridge section is again constructed into 3 phrases to specifically serve the unstable lyric idea. Melodically speaking, when melodies leap, they usually leap to a tone within the chord being played. However, throughout Mind Games, there are several instances in which the melody leaps to a note that doesn't belong to the chord played in the accompaniment. For example, the first few notes of the first 2 phrases of the chorus I sing an A note, whilst the accompaniment is playing an E minor chord. Similarly, I end phrases on a note below the chord's root, like in the phrase couldn't let me go, have to get me back instead. I end on a B during a C major chord. I intended Mind Games to be sung by a woman with a wide range and a strong voice. Before composing Mind Games, I was listening to a lot of Florence and the Machine's new album, How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful, released this year. The melody and accompaniment, I believe, was largely influenced by the sound of this album, most intrinsically the melodic range and tonality of Florence Welch's voice. The chorus is generally sung louder and with slightly grungier vocals as opposed to the verses or bridge, which contributes to the drive of the chorus and its message of leaving her ex-lover behind her to rival with his own delusions, whilst the verses explain who, when and why. Mind Games is the first song out of my small list of originals that I felt the form, lyrical structure and content, and the melodic and harmonic structure all worked in unity and effectively supported one another to shape a solid original arrangement for assessment this semester. Thank you.